Haunt Squad is on all of your favorite social media sites. You can find us at facebook.com/HauntSquad, twitter.com/HauntSquad, instagram.com/Haunt_squad, and search Haunt Squad on YouTube for podcast episodes and investigation videos. Stay spooky with Haunt Squad, Haunt Squad, Haunt Squad, Haunt Squad, Haunt Squad.
No matter what you hear in there, no matter how cruelly I beg you, do not open this door. Ah! Let me out. Let me out of here. Get me the hell out of here.
In a world filled with supernatural phenomena, 3 explorers of the unknown answer the real questions concerning the field of paranormal investigation. Vin Gomez, Natalie Jane, and Mike Wolfer guide you to the depths of paranormal studies, creepy movies, games, and comics, and more from the world of horror and geek culture. Turn out the lights, turn on your EMF detector, and prepare yourself for the Haunt Squad podcast.
Mary Bell Monahan, alias Mary Monahan Bell, alias Bell Mary Monahan, alias Monahan Mary Bell. They say she was a gun moll just because Lucky Luciano gave her a Rolls Royce every Christmas. And they can't really prove that she sneaked into the Hollywood Bowl with a Tommy gun and rubbed out the convention of police chiefs in 1956. Oh, I know that she got nailed cold when she was pushing heroin in the laundry room in Boys Town. But I'm willing to give anyone the benefit of the doubt. Especially when she's as crazy looking as Mary Bell.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rockin'.
Can I ask you, what was the song?
It's called Party Time. Band is Grave 45.
That was pretty cool. I like that.
It's from a movie.
Yeah.
And it ties into the theme. See, that's how genius I am.
Yes.
The theme for this episode of the Haunt Squad podcast. First of all, what the hell is the name of this thing anyhow? What are we calling this? Oh yeah, Haunt Squad from the Haunted Sea. We're going to be talking about horror comedies. But before we get to that,
I'm Vinny.
I'm Mike.
I'm Natalie.
And we are Haunt Squad,
We are.
taking you through the world of the paranormal, comics, horror, and anything else in geek culture. Welcome.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm so glad to be back. We had so much time off over the last couple of months.
Yeah, we did.
Like,
Yeah.
damn, man, we were doing an episode every week. And if you guys don't know, what we do is we record 2 episodes every 2 weeks. We hike up to the mansion, up here where we are now, and we do 2 episodes, and then put them out. And that ensures that every 2 weeks, we're going to be way behind on the news.
Yeah, that second show.
Which is what this one is. Mm-hmm. So when we talk about things that just happened, we're going to have to say, yeah, that happened 2 weeks ago, when in actuality it happened yesterday. So, well, whatever. We're kooky.
You're breaking down that fourth wall, you know that.
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
I know.
Mike.
That's okay.
Okay.
No one cares. So what have you been up to lately, Vinny?
You know, I have to say, we have a new addition. And he's been all over you.
He has.
Literally.
Kniff, our little white and black tuxedo.
As a cat, right?
It better be a cat, because if it's not a cat, then there's something else going on. He's been all over Mike the last couple of minutes of doing the show. He just loves Mike. I'd love to know what Mike has that he's just attracted to.
He's got catnip in his pocket. He's totally...
Is that what you have?
I was
Yeah,
going
I
to say
think he
charisma,
does.
but...
Well, oh, okay, catnip.
Now,
and
he was
charisma.
he wasn't necessarily a stray, right? He came
No, he belonged to another person, our neighbor next door, and unfortunately they just couldn't handle him, so we took him in instead, and he's been nothing but a dream. He's been fantastic. He is kind of a bully. He is bullying our 16-year-old Hercules. Unfortunately, Hercules does not live up to his name at all.
Yeah.
But Mackenzie, she runs the house. She basically tells Kniff, you stay here. I can go wherever I want. But he's been nothing but a sweetheart. You guys met him, and he's
seems
just
nice.
a great cat.
Yeah, he's very
He's
friendly.
good with the kids. And so, yep, that's our new addition.
Yay!
And I have to thank both you and Natalie, primarily Natalie, for helping me kind of get him in here and get him adapted to the other cats. So thank you very much for your advice.
You're very welcome.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, what have you guys been up to?
I don't know, sitting in the house.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sitting in the house doing a lot of just work. And the usual.
Cats.
We don't get out much.
Yeah.
We don't.
Yeah, we haven't talked a lot. I mean, a lot of my friends think that we like constantly talk and we're always talking.
Mm-hmm.
And
if we did that, we'd have nothing to discuss on the
got that
podcast.
right.
True.
we wouldn't be happy to see each other all the time.
Yeah. We don't like movies. We don't even get out.
Movies? Oh, so you haven't seen
Haven't
movies?
seen Star Wars. Haven't seen. Well, I didn't want to see Batman, Superman, but haven't seen Civil War yet. You've seen. You've seen all
three.
of them. Star Wars, we talked about. You liked that a lot,
Loved
right?
it. Yeah, very good.
What
Very
about
good.
what about the Batman, Superman? What do you think of that?
So, Captain America was great.
Yeah.
Batman versus Superman.
What the hell, man? Like, what is the deal?
It was a movie.
That's what everybody says.
Yeah.
I asked my son about it. He saw it and he was like, "Well, it was a movie." He said the same thing.
Yeah.
Well, he said some other things.
Yeah. He said the action was good.
Right.
Yeah.
Great action. There was no reason for it, but there was some great action. I don't know. I just didn't enjoy it as much as I was hoping to. It was something to sit there and watch. It was good to a point, but as far as story, there was like, well, why is he doing that? Why did this happen? I'm not going to spoil it for anybody. There are just a lot of parts in the movie you're going, wait, so why did he do that and not her do that? Or
Things happen just to happen and progress the plot
Yeah.
rather than having a logical reason why they happen.
I'm having a real hard time with DC. I will say this: Ben Affleck played a great Batman.
Did he?
I have to admit, he did a really nice job with
That's
it.
cool.
There was a lot of funny parts with him in it. He did a great Bruce Wayne. I would watch him play Batman again. Henry Cavill, as always, I think he does a great Superman, but he's very dark,
I heard he only had like 12 lines in the movie.
if
too.
that.
Yeah.
Really.
He looks fantastic.
Strange.
The guy is a god when it comes to his look in that suit. He looks fantastic in the suit. I just think that DC is trying way too hard. I don't think the characters are set to be movie type characters. Everything that they're in the comic books are very fantastic. These characters are gods. You look at
Yeah.
Superman, he's Jesus Christ. You look at, Wonder Woman, she's a Greek goddess. You look at, all these characters are gods. And to take a god and then put him into a human scenario, very, very difficult. And that's what they're kind of trying to do, and it's just not.
Yeah.
And now they're
Yeah.
supposedly coming out with a 3-hour cut of the movie, which they think will explain things a lot better. And it's just like,
Oh boy. But you like Civil War?
Civil War. Now to go on, phenomenal.
Yeah.
Fantastic movie. I, again, will not spoil it because I know you'll probably go see it because you went and saw Winter Soldier and you thought it was great.
Yeah.
I will not spoil it. I will say this. You will enjoy it. You will not say it was a movie. You will say, I love this scene. I love the airport scene. Was fantastic. Robert Downey Jr. hits it out of the park again, playing Iron Man. He is Iron Man as far as I'm concerned. He's Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr. Chris Evans. You understand all the characters' reasons for being where they are. And
one of the things that I've read about it, it's hard for me to talk about it. Like, let me talk about a movie I haven't seen. But what they say on the internet, everybody, like every character is like, oh, the best part of the movie is this character. And there's like 10 of them. How can every character be the best part of the movie?
because they know how to make the
I
movie.
guess they did it right.
They really did.
Black Panther, was he awesome?
Fantastic.
Everybody freaking loves that. Fantastic. The best-selling comic in the world, well, in the U.S., in the month of April, was Black Panther #1.
Yep. And Spider-Man, the kid they're playing.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to have a hit on their hands
Yeah.
with the new movie coming up, Homecoming. It's going to be a great movie. I would suggest skipping Batman versus Superman, and you guys, if you need to, go to the theater and watch it.
Mike's going by himself.
That's not going to happen.
I
Let me
have
just
absolutely no
I
interest.
went to the car, Mike. There were 5 people in the theater.
Yeah.
I think you'll be okay.
Mike, no.
That's what I
I
said.
don't want
We
to go.
like
I don't like movie theaters. I don't want to
11
be
in the
around
morning
anybody.
we
No,
can
I will
go
wait
and
till
do-
everything comes on
Yeah.
onto DVD.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whenever you watch it, you're gonna love it.
And I don't even have any. No, I don't have any interest in the movie.
No,
None.
Really?
I'm not into comic book movies.
Did you see Winter Soldier?
Yeah.
What did you think about that one? Did you think it was okay?
Yeah, it's okay. I'm not a fan of the comics, so I'm just not a fan of the movies. I'm just not into it. I mean, it could be a great, spectacular movie, and I'll just be like, yeah, it was okay. It was good. You know, I'm more into, again, horror, sci-fi, martial arts, that type of stuff. So I'm waiting, and on DVD just released The Witch. So I want to see that.
The Vivitch.
Yeah.
I want to see that.
The Vivitch.
The Witch.
It's 2 V's in
I
the
want to
Vivitch.
see. You guys are fucking goofy, man. Okay, got to get through this here. I want to see 10 Cloverfield Lane and Keanu. Those are the 3 movies that I'm
Yeah.
really looking forward to seeing.
10
Yeah.
Cloverfield Lane looks really good. John Goodman is so underrated. He's a great actor.
I heard he gave a really good performance.
Yeah.
And Keanu, come on, Key and Peele
I
and a
know.
kitten.
I know it. That looks out of
So
control.
yeah, but I will wait.
Yeah.
So that's me. I'm boring. I don't go out.
No, you're not boring.
If I do go out, it's to buy liquor.
Wow.
You're not boring at
And
all.
I don't really even drink. So that's kind of come to a screeching halt. No, we're very busy, so yeah.
Well-
and another one I'm looking forward to seeing is Rendell. It's a Finnish superhero movie, and it just got distribution at Cannes. So
I saw the trailer for it. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure what to think. It looks weird. I was waiting for some action craziness to break out, and it didn't happen. But it's the first I heard of it. I saw you post it, and there's the other one too. I don't know the name of it. The Russian superhero movie with the dude that turns into the bear. Have you seen that one? Mm-mm. I don't know what the name of that one is. We'll have to look that one up.
Yeah.
That looks really freaking cool too.
Oh, okay.
It's like the Russian Avengers or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Rendell, it's supposed to be dark. It's supposed to be very violent. Right now, it has a no rating, so I don't know what it's going to come out
Oh.
with. But it also looks visually pretty.
Yes. Yeah.
So
Yep.
I don't know. I'm waiting to see. It looks like I want to see it.
Natalie, is it based on a comic book or anything, or is this a
Not that I
purely
know of.
movable, theatrical type character? That's all it is.
That's what I think.
Now, see,
yeah.
this is the interesting thing that you don't like superhero movies, but that,
Interest you?
yeah,
Yeah.
because it looks creepy and scary. So
Exactly, and it's like they kind of compare him like like a Batman Punisher type, and I like vigilantes. I don't like this. Oh, I'm a goody two shoes. I can't kill anybody. No, take care of your functions. Be a boss. So yeah, I'm interested in that.
yeah,
I don't really care about Star Wars either. Not into that.
Yeah.
I don't want to see the one that just came out, but Rogue One.
That looks great.
I am excited about that. I'll have to
looks
say
cool.
because Donnie Yen.
Yep.
That's it. And it looks dark.
now is Darth Vader in it?
I was going to ask,
'Cause
do
I
you
saw
think they're
some
going to bring
kind of
Darth
a-
Vader
I don't
in?
know.
I saw some kind of a poster, and I don't know if it was fan
Why
art
wouldn't
or
they
not.
have it? Why wouldn't they have Darth Vader in it? I mean, he was alive at that time.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I don't know. I don't know enough about it.
I don't know either.
Yeah.
All I know is what I saw in the trailer. That's it. I didn't,
Yeah.
read into it. I just heard that it's supposed to be a little bit more on the dark side.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Hey, wait a second. Did you see the post of the Luke Skywalker side by side?
Yeah,
That's not bad, though.
Yeah.
Sebastian Stan.
That was
doesn't
great.
look bad at all.
Yeah.
I would definitely hope that the studios take a look at that. I mean, he is under the Disney banner right now. Why not have him play a young Luke Skywalker?
Yeah, if you guys haven't
Yeah.
seen it, they took a picture of Mark Hamill in the Luke Skywalker costume from back, it was like studio headshot from 77. And they took the face of Sebastian Stan, who plays Winter Soldier in the Captain America movies, just Photoshop his face over Mark Hamill's. Freaking the same face,
It's
man.
wild.
It's the same thing. Crazy. Hey, did you see the new show Ghost Brothers, the paranormal investigation show?
No, what is that?
We saw that. We only saw one of those so far. It was interesting. It's like I think people are getting kind of tired of the same format of Ghost Adventures, the same format of what's the other one? Ghost Hunters.
Ghost
Couldn't even
Hunters.
remember the name of it. It was interesting. It was cool. And the twist on it is, okay, all three guys are African Americans instead of having a bunch of white people stumbling around in the dark. And it was a nice, fresh take. The only thing is, it feels so damn much like Ghost Adventures. Because it's like this, I'm assuming the same production company, the same editing techniques, the same music techniques, the same exact format. Now we're going to show you crazy, grainy, jittery footage of something while there's a voiceover. And so it's exactly the same format as the other show. You know, the actual construction of it, the editing of it, and all of that. So I was really hoping they'd do something different with it so that it looked different. It looks like another episode of Ghost Adventures. But I like the guys. They're cool.
I mean, they're not playing a comedy type situation, are they?
No, it's the same thing. I mean, there is a little bit of lighthearted, you know, kind of banter between them. But when I see those shows, I keep wanting to see something that does not feel staged. You know, and of course, okay, here's the format. We're going to follow the Ghost Adventures format. We're going to have all three of you guys meet at the barbershop while one of the guys is cutting a guy's hair and pretend that they just walked in. Hey, how you doing? Hey, come on in. What's new? Hey, I've got a new thing. Look, I'm going to pull it up on my iPad. You know, we know that it's staged because it's staged. You know, I really would love to see something that was more like a documentary than an entertainment show.
Well, wasn't that how a Ghost Adventure started out, as a documentary, and then...
Yeah, and then it got real polished.
Okay.
You know.
So, wait, the Ghost Brothers work at a barbershop?
I think one of them does.
All right, so they're pretty much paralleling Ghost
It's kind of
hunters.
Like regular, you know, working people, and they do this on the side.
It's time for Real Talk with Mike Wolfer, covering the world of indie comics from the inside out. News, gossip, and helpful tips for aspiring comics writers, artists, and publishers. It's all right here on Real Talk. Now here's your host, 30-year veteran of indie comics publishing, Mike Wolfer.
Speaking of not going anywhere or doing anything,
Perfect.
I've been getting a lot of emails, people asking me if we're doing shows, doing conventions, because I've got a lot of books out there now. Like I've, you know, with this self-publishing thing, I've kind of, a lot of people are aware that, oh, I'm doing stuff, and they're really digging the Daughters of the Dark Oracle series and all that. So they're like, hey, when you come to shows, and you know, we're not.
Oh,
we have nothing lined up. Although we will attend Baltimore Comic-Con in September with American Mythology, because we'll be promoting Land of Time Forgot, and plus that's really within driving distance. But here's something I want to talk about. The reason why we're not doing shows. For someone like me, you know, small publisher, you know, I'm using Kickstarter to pay for the printing of the books that I put into stores, because I'm not making any money from the books that go to the stores. There's no way to make money to pay the print costs, so I have to use Kickstarter to pay for that stuff. Conventions is a huge expense, and I see a lot of my friends, you know, like Dirk Manning. He's at every damn show, man.
I swear to God, every weekend he has
3
something.
weekends, or 3 shows a weekend, that guy.
Yeah.
I mean, he's everywhere doing everything. I don't know how he does it. First of all, he must not have 18 cats at home, but he's out there pushing, and that works for him. And apparently he makes the money to pay for that, the expenses of going.
he's a single guy.
No, he has family.
Really? Wow.
Jason Crawley, who does Bloke's Terrible Tomb of Terror, he's out there a lot too. He does a lot of shows also. I look at it and I say, wow, how the heck do you pay for all of this stuff? Because I'm not going to, you know, where I'm not going to go. But they've changed. They're not what they used to be. Conventions now it's more of a social event rather than a
Collector's event.
Yeah.
Let's go buy comics.
Yeah. It used to be, and I don't want to sound like the old guy. Oh, well, you know, back in the old days, you could walk up to Frank Miller in the bathroom and say, hey, can you sign my tennis shoe? And he would do it. People used to go to shows to meet the artists and writers and to find out what new is coming out and to acquaint themselves with new talents and to see their old favorites, you know, people that they idolized as creators, and to buy back issues and all of that stuff. It was wonderful. It was like this really cool, intimate kind of environment. Mm-hmm. And of course, we all know what a comic convention is now. It's like it's like the WWF technique. We've got fireworks and things and costumes and all kinds of stuff, and it's crazy and it's wild. It's like a big carnival.
Cosplay.
Not a comic convention anymore. Mm-hmm. And there are men and women who have been in this industry forever, and they're sitting at their booths and no one's coming up to them. They cannot make any money because everybody thinks that a comic convention is the place to go to have a great time and to be seen and to act silly and to be the star, you know? And that's not what it is. Plus, you know what it costs to get into a comic convention these days?
Yeah. Just
to get in, if you have a family, forget it, because you're going to drop a couple $100 just getting in the door. Mm-hmm. Now you're in. You don't have any money left to buy anything. You can walk around and look and go, that looks cool, and then you keep walking, you know? It's tough. And for people like us to go to a show, we now have to, pay for a hotel room, pay for the booth expense, you know, the cost of renting the booth, all of our food, all of the gas, all of everything it takes to get there and to set up, and to hope that we can sell some comic books. Well, what did we do today, Natalie? We sold one trade paperback for $20 and an art print, but you gave him a discount and gave them to him for $5 instead of $15. That's it. We just have to, we can't do them. We just can't. I would love to do it. I would love to go to shows because I love talking to the people who read my stuff and come up and say, dude, the thing, and then this happened and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah. And guess what? Guess what's going to happen next? And, you know, have conversations with people. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
And now we go and we just kind of stand and look at each other and make fun of people.
And everyone walks away from the booth and there's Natalie by herself. The person that doesn't like people the most. Well, I'm constantly there by myself. And that's when people start coming to the booth and start asking me questions and, hey, are you single? And I'm just like, no, I'm not. Leave me the hell alone. You know, that type of stuff.
Well, yeah, what am I supposed to do? I'm sitting there all day.
Writer.
I have back issues to go search for, you know?
Searching for his Werewolf by Night and Frankenstein versus Dracula versus
Mike,
the werewolf and everything.
You're supposed to be working.
He's constantly leaving me. You know, there's other people at the booth that also work for other companies, so they'll go off to their booth and, you know, they're, you know, making connections and networking and stuff.
Right.
And Mike's just like, yeah, I need to find my Werewolf by Nights and all this other stuff. And I'm constantly there by myself. Yeah. And it's very awkward because I can be a nice person.
You can.
I can be. You know, I am, you know, just piss me off and I'm another person, I'll flip. But,
woo!
You know, I don't...
Wow, what a heel woo that was.
Yeah, it was. But, yeah, it's very awkward for me to speak to strangers, and especially if they ask me some, like, off-the-wall stuff. It's the questions that I get that don't even pertain to comics. Is
what are the weirdest... what's the weirdest question you've ever gotten? Without being dirty.
Jeez, I don't know. Oh, without being dirty? Oh, God.
Where's the bathroom?
Oh.
Do you know where booth 1136 is?
Yeah. Do you know where so-and-so will be signing at?
Yeah.
Do I look like the information booth people?
Do you know who's giving out those free comics with the thing on it?
Okay, now I need to hear the dirtiest stuff.
No. Do you know where the bathroom is?
Like off color. Yeah. No one's ever said anything, you know, off color. It's more creepy when people just stare from a distance and take your picture from a distance.
Really?
That's probably the strangest thing. Ooh. It's like, oh God. And so then I just kind of like give the bird, you know, or I'll make like a really awkward face or like chew food with my mouth open and show it. No, I really don't do that. That's embarrassing. I wouldn't do that. But
I would love to have people take my picture from afar.
It's awkward. It really is. But anyhow, I get through it.
Here's something that just came up. The Dallas Comic Show, it's a convention in Dallas. They just updated their contract, like their vendor agreement contract. And they posted this on Bleeding Cool. They specify in their contract now, if you are selling unlicensed art prints, you will be asked to leave, and we will not refund your expense or of paying for the booth.
Okay.
If you're selling any kind of bootleg material, we will have someone come over and determine whether or not it's illegal. And if it is, you will be asked to leave the convention, and we will not reimburse your stuff. So there's this huge outcry in the last year about these guys who are just stealing other people's art, tracing stuff, making it into an art print. First of all, it's an unlicensed character. They don't have the right to put out an art print of Batman and sell it. But second of all, they're using other people's art and copying. And I've talked about this on the podcast before. So now there's been a lot more public talk about it. A friend of mine from way back, a guy named Buzz,
he lost it.
He
Good
lost
for him.
it on a guy
Good
a couple
for
weeks
him.
ago at a show and just said, hey, this is bullshit. This is all stolen artwork. Some of it done by friends of mine.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't do this. And he made enough of a ruckus to where they left the convention. Of course,
But
blamed it on him.
They
like
were
it's-
reimbursed, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, which they should not have been.
Yeah. But there should be very strict policies.
There
If
should
you're
be.
going to set up a booth, you tell us what you're going to have in the booth.
Mm-hmm. And this person didn't even draw anything. He strictly reproduced
Yeah.
prints. Like, he didn't even give an effort.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah, but he saw, like, 2, 3, 4 of his friends' artwork being stolen, and he called him out on it.
Yeah. You know what gets me, though? This is something that really needs to be addressed. It's something that needs to stop. All comic book readers, we're one huge community. We're all supporting the same cause, and that is respecting creators, respecting the properties, making new and better comics. Let's all work together, and we're like this close-knit community. We should be. Unfortunately, it's not that way because of the internet. Because everybody has to be a fucking smartass and think that spouting off with zero information makes them some kind of superstar.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, this Bleeding Cool article where they posted this information about Dallas Comic Show changing their vendor agreement. I read the comments. Now, instead of people saying, it's about damn time, and I hope other shows do this. You know what the comments were? Oh, yeah? Well, that guy's an asshole, and I wonder if he asked Warner Brothers and Disney if he could put Batman and Chewbacca on their poster. Yeah, I wonder if it... Yeah, well, he's doing it too. Fuck you.
Sorry.
What a bunch of assholes. This industry is so filled with jerks that just want to be a jerk for the sake of being a jerk. Mm-hmm. You're doing nothing but tearing down what the rest of us are trying to build. And you say you're a fan of this stuff? Mm-hmm. Terrible.
They all think they have the right.
It's terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
Yeah. So anyhow, rant over. Hey, hold on. Let me get it. There. Off my soapbox. Yeah. So, yeah.
Well, at least now there's an open movement,
Yeah.
and
Yes.
there's talk. So
Yes.
good for you, Mike. And Mike, I think you started it.
I didn't do anything. I was one voice of many that have been speaking
You were
up.
prominent because I saw your name going up there a couple of times, and I saw articles bringing up your name a couple of times.
Yeah,
So
a couple times.
good for you.
Yeah. Well, I do what I can.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So listen, we got to cut it short. I got to head home and work on some Harley Quinn art prints, and we're going to sell it the next show. See ya. Hey, you know what? I'm gonna hold up. I'm gonna stay on this rant because there was something I was going to talk
Get
about.
back on your soapbox.
Get back up there.
Okay, I was going to talk about this last week, and I didn't because I didn't have the guts to do it. But you know what? I'm going to do it this week.
Warning. The following segment concerning Kickstarter contains language of a mature and explicit nature. Listener discretion is advised.
I want to talk about Kickstarter.
Oh no, I'm going to sit back.
Here's the fun side of Kickstarter. Yeah. I use Kickstarter to fund the production of my books. And for each Kickstarter campaign that I do, I deal with roughly 120 to 150 people. Each of these people contribute money, and they look at the campaign and they say, okay, if I put in this much money, I will get these things as rewards. If I put in that much, it comes with an extra something. If I go to this. So they pick a level and get what they want, right? Now, I have made myself accessible because I'm the publisher, I'm the creator, I'm the guy running the Kickstarter, and I want to make people happy. And I do everything I can in my power to make them happy. Mm-hmm. So, I shouldn't say this, but if people have a special request, they can message me and say, hey, listen, I got the $30 package, but is it possible for you to substitute this book for that book? And I'll say, yeah, we can do that. Of course I can do that. I just have to make a special notation here to make sure that I make this change.
Right.
Some of the requests I get, it takes it too far. it's kind of like you're asking too much. And now I have to determine how much is too much. Like, okay, I want to pledge at the $50 level, but I don't want any of the stuff you're offering. Instead, I want a collection of trading cards and these other things that aren't even offered. And I say, well, yes, I can do it. However, when you've got 30 or 40 people in each month-long campaign asking for the same kind of stuff, and then when it comes to shipping, and we have to go down the list and go, hold up, this person gets all this other stuff, not whatever. And this also screws up the numbering because all of the editions that I do are signed and numbered. So based on your position as a backer, we know what numbered edition you get. This guy gets number 55 out of 75. The next person gets 56 out of 75. The next person, oh wait, he doesn't want the book. He wants trading cards instead. Okay, so now the next person after that gets 58 instead of 59, and then it screws everything up. You know what I'm saying? It's difficult to keep track of all of that stuff.
Well, I mean, can't they order those items that they're looking for from a website that you might have?
No.
So they can't get the trading cards?
No. I don't have a website. I gave up on that. That was a huge waste of money.
So there's no way that let's say I wanted let's say I wanted the trading cards, I want to purchase them.
No.
I can't purchase them from you.
No. Only through Kickstarter. Only through the campaigns. And I make all this stuff available each time, which are called add-ons. There's a whole list of stuff at the bottom that you can pledge. Okay, I'm going to put in $20, and then I want to add that book, those 2 Oracle cards, and that and this.
Okay, so you make it easy.
It's like a shopping spree.
Okay, but you make it easy enough for it.
I do.
But then you get the special requests that just totally screw. All right.
It's difficult. It's very tough.
Because it's not just one person.
No,
it's
and that's
multiple people.
And here's here I go. I'm gonna get another box out.
Okay.
I'm gonna get it up even higher. Okay, I'm just putting it out there. Okay, I'm not gonna use names, and I may sound very angry and adamant about this, but it's kind of funny. I'm just spouting off. There are people after a campaign ends, right? I put out updates that say, this is where we're at. This is the progress. The campaign that you backed, here we are. Like every 2 to 3 weeks, I'll put an update out. Books are now being printed. We should begin shipping this month. If you have a commission, that has been delayed because all this other stuff came up, but I'll begin those on this date, blah, blah, blah. Put all the information out there, right? I have people who message me and say, hey, I just saw your recent update. When is this coming out? And I say, okay, first of all, I get an email, right, from this person. It says, you've got a message on Kickstarter. Okay, open the email, read the email. Then I have to go to Kickstarter to respond to them. So now I have to open up Kickstarter, sign in, open up the creator back end of the thing, find their message, and read it. And now I can respond to them. And I find out that they messaged me from a different campaign that's not even connected to this new one. And then I find out that they're not even a backer of the campaign they're asking about. And they're talking about something else. And they're like, well, when is, you said in your update that Widow Archives Volume 5 was going to ship this week. Well, I haven't gotten my stuff. And I say, well, I don't even see you on there. Well, I ordered Countess Bathory #1. Well, that's not the same book. And those already shipped. Did you read the updates on the Countess Bathory page? The conversation goes back and forth, right? For several emails back and forth. I have now wasted like 45 minutes of my time that I should be drawing or doing something else. Dealing with someone who didn't bother to pay attention to what they were doing, You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, and then there's the people that can't remember what campaigns they funded. And then there's people
Can you tell me which ones I backed?
Yeah.
What,
no,
why are you asking
I'm
me?
sorry. I'm going to say it. No, you are responsible for knowing where you just spent your money. I mean, how can you not know? And then there's people, did you send this? Did you send that? Well, I get so many packages, I don't know. And they always end up having it.
Let me talk about that one.
What a waste of time.
Let me talk. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, listen.
Testify.
You said that all of the rewards have shipped for Daughters of the Dark Oracle Gruesome Goodies. I haven't gotten my package yet. Can you check on that? Okay, so now I got to sign into Kickstarter in order to answer the guy. Yes, let me check on that for you. Blah blah blah. Then I sign out of there, and I have to get my detailed printed list, which we have a list of every backer for every campaign, every item they're getting, every numbered edition that they're getting. I now have to consult the list and find them on the list. I'm like, okay, they're not on the list. Why are they not on the list? Oh, they're not on the list because the name on their account is like something cool and kooky instead of their name. So now I have to remember, oh, wait a minute. This guy goes by the name Fudge Pudding. Oh, I was thinking it was Joe Smith. Okay, now I need to go through and look up Fudge Pudding. Okay, la 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 la. Okay, he's crossed off. Everybody's crossed off. I know what editions he's got. So now I have to message him back and say, hey, listen, Fudge Pudding, your stuff shipped. And even better yet, hold on, let me open up my Stamps.com software and do a search for the artist formerly known as Fudge Pudding, find out exactly when that shipped and what the tracking number is. Now, I track it, and it says, yeah, it was delivered to their front porch doorstep 2 months ago. Okay, so I jump over, type up a message back to that person and say, hey, here's all the stuff I found out about this. Then I get a response. Oh, well, I have a bunch of packages I haven't opened. I haven't gotten to a lot of stuff, so it's probably here. I've now just spent 1 hour of my time when I should have been doing something else. Dealing with someone who already fucking has my stuff sitting in their goddamn house. Hey, do you know if I have your stuff? Yeah, and speaking of that, here's another one. I'm on a freaking rant now, okay? Here's another one. Hey, I see that you offer a whole bunch of stuff as add-ons. Yes, I do. There's a whole list of add-ons of things that you can add to your pledge. Okay. Do you know if there's anything that you have that's not on the list that's not in my collection? How the fuck do I know what's in your collection? I'm not fucking kidding. How do I respond to that?
Listen, I only asked, all right, Mike? I'm sorry.
Hey, what have you done that I don't have? I don't know.
It's just out of hand. Yeah.
But I love Kickstarter, and I love everybody that backs me. I'm just asking, please, you guys, if you got a question, do your research first, because you're asking me to do the research for you, and I don't have that kind of time.
Yeah, Mike's a very busy guy. You can't ask Mike what he has that you don't have. Mm-hmm. It just doesn't make sense.
And Mike, does his best to delegate things to me, because he's writing and drawing and all this and that, and I'm just like, I would love to help him out with those emails, but I said, I'm sorry, I will not be able to hold my tongue. You do not want me responding to some of these people because I'm going to be like, you dumb mother, and it's just going to be terrible.
Here's what we deal with, right?
God.
She'll be upstairs, and she's doing all, like, Twitter Haunt Squad stuff and blah, blah, blah. She's busy. And I've been gone for, like, half hour, 45 minutes. I come upstairs, and I just walk in the room. And I'm not saying anything. And I walk over, put my hand up on the windowsill, look out at the cul-de-sac, and I'm still not talking, and she's like, who did what now?
That son of a bitch, Vinny.
Then I'll say,
Vinny.
I just got a message on Kickstarter, and then here we go.
Yep, I know what's coming.
And you know what? One other thing. Listen, the world is going digital, right? Digital comics are not really a big thing, but it's something that exists. Do you read digital comics?
Yeah.
You seem like a reasonably organized, well-adjusted person.
I try.
Mm-hmm. I'm just saying. I'm just putting this out there. I'm not casting aspersions. I'm just spouting. The largest percentage of dropped pledges that I get with each campaign, that means someone pledges money and then they cancel their pledge.
Mm-hmm.
The largest percentage comes from the digital level, which is the lowest, least expensive level. Why is that? I can see if somebody pledges $300 and they go, oh, God, my car broke down. Holy shit, I have to cancel my pledge.
I would have thought that would have been a higher.
But you pledge $5 and then 2 days later cancel your pledge? What is the deal? What is the deal? And you know what gets me even more? They pledge $5 and then their credit cards decline. What the hell? Is it just people who are just freaking playing games with me? And there's just like, Kickstarter's a fun game, and you go on and you say, I'm going to pledge $1 million, and then I'm going to cancel it 10 minutes later because I got nervous because I don't have $1 million.
Well, wait a
and
minute.
These people are doing it with like $10, $5.
Wow, I didn't realize you were getting hit with that.
It's like a freaking game.
Yeah, well, hold up. What about the $1 pledge phenomenon?
Have no clue what the dollar pledge phenomenon is.
That's a mystery.
You know, and it's always, like I said, it's always these people whose accounts are like, Crispy Bacon has pledged $1.
Stop using my account name, please.
They've pledged $1, which gets you nothing because there's no pledge level for $1. They pledge $1. And then, toward the end of the campaign, Crispy Bacon has canceled their pledge for $1. What the fuck is this about? I don't get it. I don't get it.
Yeah, there are just some people out there, man, that they're just
doesn't make sense.
No,
I don't know.
They have these things called blinders on, and they don't see the big picture, and they don't understand.
I don't get it.
No.
I don't understand what the deal is with the digital thing. Why the digital level?
You would think that I would think that the digital would probably be the no-brainer in the situation. Pledge to $5, get a digital copy, and you're good to go. Yeah. Why back out? It doesn't make sense.
I don't know. One
of
these days,
I would feel funny backing out anyway. To tell you the truth, I would feel funny backing out of any pledge.
Well, everybody who does back out should feel guilty. No, stuff comes up, man. You know, stuff comes up.
Yeah, but come on, you back maybe a $30. Stuff doesn't come up that you can't keep that going.
I get a lot of people who will message me they'll decrease their pledge, like they'll pledge $175 and then they have to bump it down to $85 because something came up. And then they'll send me a message like, "Man, I'm really sorry. I have to." I'm like, "Don't apologize. You know, it's okay. It's cool."
But they're looking for free stuff. They're looking for you to go, "Hey, listen, dude, it's okay."
No. These are all cool people.
Oh, okay.
They're cool. Yeah. So there you go. Whatever. Yeah. This is my rant. I had to say it. I had to get it out. It's been driving me nuts.
Well, Crispy Bacon's gonna have a problem.
I don't know. Him and Fudge Pudding.
Fudge Pudding.
And now, our main topic.
So,
yes.
What is it? Horror comedies is our topic for today's movie picks.
Sure is.
Alrighty then.
Sure is.
Who wants to go first?
I don't know.
I'll go.
Okay.
You go.
All right, I will start off with the 92 movie directed by Robert Zemeckis, Death Becomes Her.
I never saw that. I never saw it.
I saw that.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw it. That's
is it worth
good.
seeing? Yeah, I think it is.
Is it?
Sure. Yeah. It was funny. You have Goldie Hawn, Meryl Streep, Bruce Willis, and Isabella Rossellini as, the main characters. Goldie plays Helen and Meryl plays Madeline. Helen and Madeline, they hate one another. They're rivals, and they both find an enchantress played by Isabella Rossellini who offers them an elixir that gives you eternal youth, eternal life. And so both of them take it. They're fighting over Bruce Willis, who plays Dr. Ernest, and they fight each other to the death. They both end up killing one another. And what they don't realize is that they're immortal. So now they have to live with their damaged bodies. Goldie Hawn has a shotgun blast through her midsection, a hole through her chest.
Yeah.
Meryl Streep, she gets shoved down the stairs, so her neck's all twisted. And I mean, it's like the damage is not irreversible. So they're stuck with this. I mean, it's pretty funny.
They're kind of like zombies almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would call it a zombie movie because they do come back, from the dead. They reanimate, and there's a lot of great effects for that time. The effects are pretty good. So that's my movie.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Who next?
I can go next.
Okay.
Saturday the 14th.
Uh-huh.
Yes, stars Jeffrey Tambor and Richard Benjamin.
Oh yeah.
A family moves into a home that just so happens to have a bunch of horror figures wandering around, and it's a spoof based on Friday the 13th. it's one of just the dumbest, funniest movies I've ever seen.
It is funny.
Yeah, it's pretty damn funny.
I mean, I knew it was a comedy, but I mean, it is actually kind of, oh, okay, that's a funny.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's funny. I mean, this one part where a girl is taking a bath, and then the creature from the Black Lagoon is swimming in the bathtub with her.
Oh.
You know, they wake up in the middle of the night. One of the kids wakes up in the middle of the night and goes to get something to drink, and all the monsters are wandering around the house, eating their food and making a mess of the house. And they freak out, go back to bed, and in the morning the house is clean. Everything's fine. You know, just a really funny movie.
I never saw it.
No, it's very old, I mean, very old when I was
That's very old. That's nothing compared to my stuff.
Yeah, wait for this.
It's an enjoyable one, and one of those that you go, God, this is so dumb, but yeah, it's a chuckle.
Yeah. Oh, cool. My first one, I've talked about this one before. The Ghost of Mr. Chicken, 1966, with Don Knotts. It was made. It was made for kids, but it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a cool movie. It was well made. I never really cared for Don Knotts. He was just that kind of weird guy. But in that movie, he was cool, man. He played Luther Heggs, who worked at a newspaper. He wanted to be a reporter. You know, that was his ambition. And he just worked in the like the copy room or whatever. So, you know, there's a haunted house. There was a murder there 20 years ago, and they sent him out to cover it. And, you know, like, what the hell? We'll send Luther. Go ahead, do a story about the haunted house. And he spends the night, and all kinds of crazy stuff happens. They print the story, and he becomes a sensation. And it's got a lot of little funny moments that are typical Don Knotts. You know, I mean, just that, like, his weird freaking skittish, you know, that shivery, like, chihuahua thing that he does and all of that. I mean, when I was older, I looked at it and I'm like, oh, God, that's terrible. But then I think about it like, man, the acting that had to go into that in order to play that character. And I know he wasn't like that in real life. He's probably like, hi, I'm Don Knotts. I'm suave and debonair. But when they say, you know, action, he jumps right into it. But it was a very cool movie. That was one of my favorite parts of that was every time they have like some kind of public meeting and he's up giving a talk or they're at the church talking about stuff or whatever, there's always somebody in the crowd who yells, "Attaboy, Luther!" I still do that to this day.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why that stuck with me,
It's
but
funny.
it was really, really good stuff. You know, and actually the haunted mansion that was in the movie, the Simmons mansion, there was an organ up in the bell tower or whatever, and people would hear the organ playing, and there was blood on the key on the keys, and they couldn't get it off, and they used Bonami, but it would play this scary music, organ music, and that was written by Vic Mizzy, who did Addams Family.
Oh, okay.
You know, he did the theme. So, and you know what? Actually, it's at the beginning of this episode. The little intro we do about the social media tag at the very beginning.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's actually the music from the old Simmons place. So anyhow, Ghost of Mr. Chicken, great movie, very, very fun.
Yeah, I agree.
And attaboy, Luther. Who's next?
All right, The Return of the Living Dead.
Oh hell
That's
yeah!
my next one.
Hell yeah!
1985, directed by Dan O'Bannon. A military chemical gets released into the air by these two clumsy dudes in a warehouse and gets into the air, and it's soaked up by a cemetery, and it reanimates the bodies, and they want to eat your brains. Good stuff. You know, it's funny. There's a lot of funny stuff that happens in it. One of the things that's most memorable to me is there's a cadaver in a room, and you have the two klutzes that that spilled this gas, and then another guy that comes in to help them. He hands one of the guys a pickaxe. I think it's a pickaxe, and he's like, "All right, open the door, and then hit him in the head. That should kill him." The door's open. Guy's too scared to even do anything. He goes charging the guy that's trying to help him. He's strangling him. But it's the way that the cadaver, he's like completely yellow skinned.
Yeah.
And the way that he runs and he, charges him, he tackles him. It's just funny. So the other two guys finally help get him off of him. They're holding him down. And then I wish I should have memorized these names. The guy that came to help him, he grabs the pickaxe, smacks it through the cadaver's head, doesn't stop moving, and they're just like, well, that's what they told me it's supposed to work. Well, the
Yeah,
movie's
yeah.
lied and all this.
Yeah,
So there's
yeah.
the comedy in there. It's that kind of stuff. And so the cadaver's still kicking and screaming. So the guy takes a saw and just starts sawing through his neck, and the reactions from the two guys holding him down, they're just like, ew, ew.
yeah.
Like, it's hilarious. Like, they're almost crying. It's so funny.
That movie was out of freaking control. It was
Yeah.
gory. It was brutal. But it had that dark humor about
Yeah.
it. That there was nothing like that up till that point.
Mm-hmm.
That movie was huge when that came out because of the humor angle.
Mm-hmm.
It was so terrible, but
And
how the hell could that be funny at the same time?
I know. It was really funny. And if there's anything I take away from it, it's Tarman. He's the best.
Tarman. Oh, he's an icon now.
Yes.
He's absolutely an icon. You know, I have a little connection to that movie in a way. Dan O'Bannon wrote the screenplay based on John Russo's screenplay that he wrote as a sequel to Night of the Living Dead. John Russo was and George Romero created Night of the Living Dead. John Russo wrote a sequel and proposed it as this movie, and they said, well, we like the idea, but we want to change it. So it was pretty heavily rewritten, but it actually came from John. And John's my buddy, man, because I worked with him on Escape of the Living Dead and also Plague of the Living Dead, those two comic series. A lot of people tried to copy that formula after that, and I don't remember one ever really working except perhaps Reanimator. That had that same kind of over-the-top violence and gore, but it had that tongue-in-cheek humor. But yeah, that's a real good pick.
I recommend it.
Yeah.
Sure.
Hell yeah.
Cool.
Hell yeah.
Well, mine would be Scary Movie, starring Anna Faris.
Oh, sure.
Okay. Basically, it's a spoof on numerous movies. I think I Know What You Did Last Summer. What was the other one where the guy wears that weird...
Scream.
Scream, thank you. Basically, a bunch of teenagers dispose of a body of a man they accidentally killed, and then they are stalked by a bumbling serial killer. And that's really all you need to know. The characters are ridiculous. They're all a bunch of idiots. One of my favorite characters is Doofy, who at the end of the movie, the biggest twist, you know, I'm not going to spoil it, but there's a big twist with Doofy. Everything that happened was like something about Mary uncomfortable. Doofy was mentally challenged, but he played with a vacuum cleaner. That's all I'll say. I'm trying to clean my room. The news reporter decides to use Doofy to get to Anna Faris's character, who was experiencing these murderous issues. And Doofy stands there and starts drooling. She puts her fingers in his mouth, and he just drools. She goes, "Oh, you're so cute." And he goes, "Yeah," and the drool just comes. Just so uncomfortable, but really funny stuff. I recommend this movie.
I like several of them.
Yeah.
Scary Movie, I think 3 and 4. The one, the War of the Worlds one, that was pretty ridiculous. The one that was the Ring, and or wait, was that the same movie? I can't remember. They are all blend together, but generally, overall, they're all pretty cool.
They're all pretty funny.
My next one is Theater of Blood, 1973. I had a hard time with this list because I didn't want to go with the obvious, like Young Frankenstein, and you know, like the ones that we all know as horror comedies. I wanted to try to put a twist on it and pick something that had humorous elements in it, but it was still horror as the basis. So Theater of Blood, 1973, another great Vincent Price vehicle, and it was in a similar vein as Dr. Phibes. Dr. Phibes Rises Again. There's a guy, something bad happens to him, he's got to go and get revenge on a certain number of people. So in this one, he's Vincent Price is Edward Lionheart. He's a stage actor, and he's been panned by the critics, and he appears to commit suicide. But then he comes back a few years later to get each of those critics, and he kills each one in the manner of a murder that had appeared in various Shakespeare plays. So he takes this person and puts them through this horrible scene where they're captured and tied down, and he's acting out this scene of the play and kills them in that manner. Except there's a twist. You know, there's a modern twist. You know, one lady's electrocuted to death by like hair curlers and stuff like that. Another guy, I wrote it down because I couldn't remember it. The play was Titus Andronicus, and a character's children were baked into a pie. So Robert Morley is the actor, and he loves food, and Vincent Price sets up this elaborate scheme where Robert Morley's invited to a house because they're going to do some reason he's invited there. When he walks in, oh, surprise, it's a game show kind of thing that we set up for you. It's called What Is Your Dish? And it's some famous British show where they cook somebody a dish, and oh, it's like This Is Your Life. And oh, he's so honored to be there, and they're like, oh, sit down and we'll put a bib on you and blah, blah, blah. I know we're going to bring you this great dish that you're going to eat. And he's eating it, and it's like, oh, this is so delicious. And they're like spooning it in his mouth, and it's got this like whitish gravy, and it's like chunks of meat and blah, blah, blah. Well, Robert Morley had these 2 little poodles that he carried with him everywhere. The poodles are mysteriously missing. Guess what? They're in the pie, you know? And then they put a funnel in his mouth, this huge funnel, and just start pouring it in and ramming it down into a straw. I mean, God. It's terrible. It's a terrible, horribleness. But there's a humor about it that was crazy. Diana Rigg was in that, who was Mrs. Peel in The Avengers. She plays Lionheart's daughter, and there's a really cool twist with her. Great movie, Theater of Blood. Check it out. You can't go wrong. It's Vincent Price.
No, you can't.
And you know what? His future wife, Coral Brown, she was actually the lady that got electrocuted with the hair curlers.
Oh, my God.
They met
That's
on
great.
the set of the movie, and then they later got married. So, who's next?
Me.
Okay.
This is it.
Okay.
The last one. All right. I love this movie. We just recently watched it, well, about 3 weeks ago. We recently watched, remember when? I'm going to go with Robert Rodriguez's 2007 hit, Planet Terror.
Holy crap.
Love this movie. Love it.
Holy crapola. I saw that once when it first came out, and then you told me you were going to put it on your list. I said, we need to rewatch that. Oh my God, I freaking love that movie.
It's really good.
This is one of those where it's like, how do you even describe it? 'Cause,
I know, there's so
my
much going on. Originally, it was released as a double feature with Death Proof, and it was released like, it was Grindhouse, and it was supposed to be like, you know, the 70s exploitation films.
Yep.
So many people are in this. You have Rose McGowan, Freddie Rodriguez, Marley Shelton, Josh Brolin, Danny Trejo, Jeff Fahey, Naveen Andrews, Bruce Willis, Quentin Tarantino, Tom Savini, Michael Biehn. If I forgot anyone, I'm sorry. But all these, you know, people that, you know, you would recognize. You kind of like, you have 3 different main groups of people that end up getting together as they're fighting zombies and the military.
Yeah.
It's pretty gory, and it's awesomely ridiculous. Just some of the things. Rose McGowan plays the character Cherry, and she loses her leg, and her ex-boyfriend, Ray, turns it into a machine gun for her.
Why not?
You know? And Josh Brolin, he turns into a zombie. You know, he's Marley Shelton's, I don't remember their names, but he's a doctor and she's a nurse, and he gets turned, and there's some weird stuff going on there, you know, with infidelity and a girlfriend coming back and all this and that, and he turns and he looks at her and he says, I'm gonna eat your brains and gain your knowledge. Like, best line ever. I love it. He's so creepy. Yeah, really super gory. If you're the type, this stuff really gets to me. Like, when skin bubbles and blisters and pops and pus and goop comes out everywhere, especially when it gets on your face and in your mouth, I'm a little grossed out.
Oh, yeah, the dude with the big blisters on his tongue.
Disgusting. It's good stuff, though, so I highly recommend it.
If there was that whole barbecue sauce subplot that was going on.
Yes, it needed some blood. It needed salt.
It was ridiculous.
With Jeff Fahey and Michael Biehn, they were brothers, and they had their own little conflict going on. He rented the place from Michael Biehn. He had some kind of control over it, and he was raising the rent on him. Well, you need to tell me the secret ingredients of your barbecue sauce.
My favorite part of that movie that people didn't get, it freaking pissed them off, was that you know, it had that old film look. So there was like pops and scratches and all that kind of crap. And then suddenly the film breaks and it comes back in like 15 minutes later.
Yep.
The place is on fire. Everybody's like, well, I'm glad we made it out of that alive. And you don't know what happened.
Yeah.
Like
and El Rey's,
I love that.
you know, secret identity or whatever is revealed.
That's
and he
right.
missed all that. Well,
Yep.
if I would have known you were El Rey.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was great.
was
That whole
good.
missing scene. That was genius.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Love that movie.
Well, I'm going to go with a very, very soft horror movie called The Burbs,
I love that.
starring
That's
Tom
great.
Hanks. The story takes place in a typical American neighborhood when some new neighbors come to live in the house next to Ray Peterson, Tom Hanks. These new people are really strange. Nobody has ever seen them. Their house is a real mess, and during the night, you can hear weird noises from the basement. The only thing they know is their name, Klopeks. One day, Walter, an old man of the neighborhood, suddenly disappears, and everyone starts to suspect the Klopeks. I love this movie. Tom Hanks. Well, I like Tom Hanks because he's just, whenever he yells and screams, it's just the funniest thing. Even when he was playing on that island, Wilson, I just couldn't stop but laugh. He just has the greatest scream. Great movie.
I never saw that one.
You never saw
I'm
it.
gonna kill everyone. Satan is good. Satan is our pal.
No, I don't know. I don't know.
Stuff. The pizza dude. Corey Feldman.
Yeah, he sat there the whole time. It was basically the story through his eyes because, you know,
That's true.
it was three neighbors. Unfortunately, I can't remember the other two neighbors' names, but they were all trying to investigate what happened to Walter. They dug up a bone and it
On
went,
the femur.
it's Walter. You know, they broke into their backyard and dug up the whole backyard looking for their neighbor Walter.
Oh.
And wasn't the one guy, he was like an old military guy.
Yeah.
So everything. God. Yeah, that was good.
Wow, you guys are laughing a lot.
It's a really good
good,
movie.
yeah.
It
Check
really
that
is.
out.
Yeah.
Well, my last one is A Bucket of Blood. It doesn't sound like a horror movie.
No.
1959.
Sounds like a drama.
It's another one of those Roger Corman specials written by Charles Griffith, who the two of them made several movies together. They shot this movie in 5 days for $15,000. So it's another one of those Quickie Corman classics. And the story, very, very simple. There's a cafe called the Yellow Door Cafe, and it's like a beatnik place, right?
Okay.
So they're all like, yeah, you know? And they've got like the I don't even know what you call it, like jazz poet people and, you know, all that pretentious
Beret wearing people.
beatnik bullshit, right? Now, when they made this movie, they were making fun of that culture because at the time, you know, it's like us now making fun of hipsters. You know?
Right.
So at the time, they were like, this is really pretentious and stupid. Let's make a movie making fun of these people. So it's set in this cafe. Walter Paisley is the waiter in the cafe. And he's played by Dick Miller. I freaking love Dick Miller. He's an incredible actor. And he's been in so many movies. They call him the Great Dick Miller. So Walter Paisley is working in his cafe. He would love to be a sculptor. He would love to be an artist of some kind. But he doesn't have any talent. So he gets a bunch of clay, and he's got it in his crappy little apartment. And he's trying to make a sculpture. It's not working. Be a nose. It's not working. Now there's a stray cat that the landlady owns that got into the wall, and he's trying to get the cat out. He's like, Frankie, come on, come out of there. He's like, oh man, he's stuck in the wall. So he takes a knife to cut a hole in the wall to get the cat out. He stabs the cat, kills the cat by accident. So he looks at the clay, looks at the cat. He covers the cat in clay, and then takes it to the Yellow Door and says, look what I made. And they're like, Walter, you're a genius. Oh my God, this is incredible. They're like, why don't you make another one? Well, I haven't got another cat. I mean, he's saying the whole time he's telling them. He's telling them what he did because he's so slow, you know? He becomes this sculpting genius. One of the customers in the cafe, Neolia, gives him some heroin because she's in love with him. And she's like, here, Walter, take this. Well, an undercover cop sees the transaction, follows Walter back to his apartment. And he's like, hey, I saw what went on, and I know what you've got. And he's like, this? I don't even know what it is. Neolia gave it to me, you know. And he's like, this is the hard stuff, you know, horse. And he's like, oh, well, wasn't that nice of Neolia to give me this expensive horse? I mean, he just doesn't get it. Well, the cop's going to arrest him. Walter freaks out, hits him over the head with a frying pan, cuts his head in half. Then he covers him with clay. And he calls it Murdered Man. It was Bert Convy, by the way, who was the actor. So he brings that out. Now, the thing is, the guy who owns the cafe, I love this guy, Anthony Carboni. He was in Creature from the Haunted Sea, Renzo Capetto. I love this guy. He does an incredible comedic turn as this cafe owner who knows the secret. He knows what Walter's doing because he realized that the cat, there was fur in it. He's like, oh no. Then when he sees the statue with Murdered Man statue show up, he knows that there's a dead guy in there. And he's like, well, let's bring it in business. And I could broker this stuff out and make some money, you know, by selling these statues. So it's a great movie. Great movie. Absolutely love it. It's been remade. Don't bother with the remake. It's not important. And my little bit of trivia, Walter Paisley, the name of the character, was used in several other movies because Dick Miller became so well known for that role back then. Everybody freaking loved him in that role that when he starred in other movies, they would change the name of the character and name the character Walter Paisley. So he was in The Howling. He played a character named Walter Paisley. He was in Twilight Zone the movie. He played a character named Walter Paisley. He was in Chopping Mall. Played a character named Walter Paisley, you know, so
Yeah.
It's kind of cool.
That is.
It's a sort of thing that only I care about. But there you go. Horror comedies. So what's next?
Question everything.
All right, our first question comes from Gary Fisher from Sydney, Australia. I have a two-part question for Mike.
I have a two-part answer.
Number 1, who are some of your influences in the comic industry? And 2, what made you want to get into the comic industry?
You know, I talked about this actually last week about eerie, creepy, and Vampirella magazines from Warren Publishing Company. That's what made me want to get into comics, by reading those magazines and seeing that incredible black and white art being produced by American and Spanish artists. It was unbelievable, and I said, someday I want to do that. And that's really what sparked my interest in being a comic artist. As far as my influences, my style is not based on anyone's style. A lot of artists, you can see, a friend of mine, Bart Sears, you can see Neil Adams in his art, because Bart idolized Neil Adams, which most of us do, but his art definitely took that sort of look. Also, you see some Bern Hogarth in there also. But my influences, people that I loved were, and still are, Rich Corbin, unbelievable, John Byrne, Walt Simonson, and then from the Warren books, Esteban Maroto, Tom Sutton, who is freaking ridiculous. I showed you that story the other night with the Dress to Kill story with all the Zipatone. Oh my God. Aurelian, Bernie Wrightson, of course. And even though I'm not a painter, San Julian, who did a lot of the painted covers. Oh my God. I mean, people say, hey, Frank Frazetta is great. Frank Frazetta is great. But you should look at San Julian. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Unbelievably beautiful stuff. So there you go.
All right, our next question is from Michael Woodson in Chickasaw, Alabama.
I know that dude.
Oh. Me too. All right, my question is this. What is the scariest place you have investigated, and would you do it again? Also, thank you for all that you guys do.
Oh, gee.
Shucks.
Blushing.
I have a very quick answer.
Do it.
I have yet to find that place. And if I found it, I'd probably do it again. So
Yeah.
But no, I haven't been any place that I would say was scary. So unfortunately, I'm still waiting.
Yeah. What about you?
I don't have enough experience, so I'm actually in the same room with Natalie on this one. But I would do it again.
Yeah.
I'd do anything again. Absolutely.
It's kind of tough for me. One place that I absolutely love is Battery Torbert at Fort Delaware. I find it very scary, which I'll admit. I get in there by myself, and it's just creepy. And with the amount of activity that we have had there and the things that we have had happen, like things physically moving, which you don't see often. If you know something can physically move something or physically pound on something, you know, that can pound on you too. You don't know. So that's kind of creepy. That would probably be mine, and obviously I would went back many times.
Yeah, I don't think we would not go back to a place.
Yeah. In fact, it actually makes it more intriguing, really. I mean, you get scared and run out of there, but then it's like, I got to go back in. I've never said I will never step foot in that place again. So, yeah.
Okay, great. All right, our last question is from Nicholas Ramirez. He is at Moscow138 on Twitter. His question is, what's your favorite movie released in your birth year? And he gave us a little bit of information. His is the 1985 Akira Kurosawa's Ran.
Yeah, yep. Wow, birth year. I had a bunch.
He's just trying to find out how old we are. Oh my God.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah,
so for
here we go.
mine, let's see, 1982.
Real sneaky there, Nicholas.
Mine is 63, and I had some really cool ones. Jason and the Argonauts. I can't pick a favorite, so I'm just going to list some for that year. Lord of the Flies, Day of the Triffids. Oh, the Day of the Triffids. Blood Feast was a crazy gore movie. It was the first gore movie. Here's a weird one. Dr. Sin, alias the Scarecrow. I don't know if you've ever seen that. It was, I believe it was Disney. Very cool. Atragon, that Toho made, the one about the submarine with the drill bit on the front and it fights Manda, the sea serpent. Yeah, yeah. But you know what? Number one. Robert Wise's The Haunting.
Okay.
That's my favorite for 63.
Okay.
It's actually one of my favorite movies of all time.
Cool.
What about you?
There was a few cool things that came out. Star Wars.
A few cool things.
Star Wars, The Incredible Melting Man, and Suspiria.
Oh, hell yeah.
Those are great. I like all three of those. There's two that I want to see that I haven't, and one is called The Child. It's a zombie flick.
Oh, yeah, you showed me the trailer for that.
Yeah, I mean, it looks pretty interesting. And then House. It's Hausu. It's a Japanese film.
Yeah, not the American House.
So I want to look into that. That looks kind of interesting. My number one is Saturday Night Fever, 1977.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that movie. Oh my God.
He hit my head.
I swear to God, if I could go back to any time, it would be that time. And even if it's just one night doing the hustle out on the dance floor, I would do it.
I would go back to that time too, because I'd be 14.
Well, if I went to 77, but anyhow, yeah.
What about you, Vinny?
Okay, well, this one caught me at a disadvantage because I didn't see movies when I was born. Come on, it was a joke.
Oh,
Vinny, you're so silly.
I would say the movies from 1973. Live and Let Die, James Bond.
Oh, yeah.
Loved it. American Graffiti.
That was cool.
But my favorite, The Exorcist.
Oh, yeah.
1973. Absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
I do say this. It's not as scary as everybody. I mean, I saw the news reports and everything from that time. People fainting.
Oh, they're vomiting in the aisles.
Exactly. Yeah. And I watched and I was like, it's not bad. You know, I wasn't scared.
We're jaded. We're jaded now. We've seen it all.
But those are my movies. I mean, you can go with Robin Hood, Disney's Robin Hood, and The Sting.
Oh, wow.
But have some really good movies from 1973.
Cool.
Yep.
Very cool. Yep, so we're breaking down. All right, that's it for this week.
Yeah, thanks for listening, everybody.
Yep, see you guys next week.
Stay spooky.
I'm going to eat your brains and gain your knowledge.